Yeah, I wanted to drop drop some info, drop some game, chop it up right quick. I don't have long. I'm busy. I have things to do. Currently, I'm on East Coast time. It's almost midnight, and I wanted to do a quick video. Uh, I'm about to be in Tampa. I'm in transit right now, so I just wanted to do a little live podcast, chop it up with whoever may be interested. So to all of my people out there, 30, 35, and even some of my youngsters out there in their mid 20s, I would like to say to keep your head up, keep grinding, and stay informed. Learn as much as you need to learn, so that you can operate to your full capacity, right? So I'm 29 years old. I turned 30 this summer. Things are going well for me. These last couple of years, I didn't hit a stride where financially I'm reaching stability, you know, making six figures is not something that I see as impossible or out of reach or anything like that. Um, the bigger thing for me is how am I going to make it? Like, I think I'd rather make it as a business owner than as an employee because the taxes is ridiculous when you're an employee, and the more money you make as an employee, the more money that the government is going to take from you. Whereas as a business owner, you can make that same 100,000 and you can move things around a little bit differently and get some tax breaks. But anyway, since I'm on the East Coast time, I was thinking about the East Coast and my time in New Jersey, New York, Miami. I just left Orlando. Few times I flew into Tampa, Atlanta, even though that's the South, but we're gonna count it as the East Coast for the sake of this conversation. Charlotte, these type of places, the Eastern Seaboard, right? And one thing I could say looking back in my 20s is that I'm happy that I was able to experiment with traveling to different places. I'm from a small town in Louisiana, and so I'm so happy that I was able to get out, explore, expand, see different things in real life. I was able to meet people that I would have never met before had I didn't come outside, as we like to say these days. I was outside. I wasn't inside. I was outside. And I had some great times in New York. Um, I had some great times in Miami. And I had to do a lot of solo travel actually as in my 20s. In my 30s, I hope that it would be different. But in my 20s, I did a lot of solo traveling because I wasn't able to meet the certain type of people who would be willing to travel with me, or my friends that I had at the time, they would be busy grinding on their own path. So I went a lot of places alone. And that was a benefit to me also because that taught me a lot about how to move, how to maneuver, how um how to have my own bag, where it's safe to go to, where it's not safe to go to. And I would tell you this, I've experienced far as like dating culture, hookup culture, and those type of things. I've had the most fun by myself, like just popping up in the city and falling into some fun or meeting people. Whereas if I never really been in a group like that, but like I imagine if I were to be in a situation like that, I don't know if I would have that same type of fun. I hope I would, but I've had a lot of fun when I was solo dolo, out there in the world, just having fun. I think about I went to Colombia. When I went to Colombia, I was 27 years old, and I went to Colombia uh right after my dad's passing, and I was just like, man, I needed to a change of pace because, that was very tough for me. And so I went to Colombia. And when I was out there, I was by myself. I ended up meeting a cool guy named Gino. And Gino is a professional tour guide. He speaks 4 or 5 different languages. And I was in Cartagena. And how I found out about Cartagena about 2 years prior or 3 years prior in 2019, I was in a relationship, a marriage with a woman from St. Lucia. So I was with my kid's mom, my now ex-wife. Well, we were in St. Lucia, and when we were at the Miami airport, a guy was like chopping it up with us, and he was very excited. I guess, coming from the airport, you meet all kind of people. So he was like, "Hey man," he was like, "Where you from?" I was like, "Who do?" He was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going here." He was like, "Man, you need to come to my country. You need to come to my country." He was like, "Come to my city. I'm I'm from Cartagena. I'm from Cartagena. Come to my city." He said, "You love it." I never forgot that. Then one day, man, after my dad and stuff situation happened, I went through a breakup with the kid's mom. And so I was thinking like, man, where will I go? Like to just get a change of pace, a change of scenery and stuff like that. So this was 2021 or 22, 21, 22, something like that. And so time is just flying rapidly. We're in 24. So I Googled the safest cities in Colombia, and Cartagena was number one on the list. I just booked the flight and said, boom, I'm going. Didn't speak Spanish, still don't speak Spanish now, but I'm more uh uh I'm more familiar with the Spanish language and as many dialects now after going to so many different Spanish countries. But back then I couldn't even say anything. I didn't know how to communicate at all. I would it was a sin malo, you know. So okay. So I go to Colombia by myself, and my first night there, I'm rolling through the streets, and it was kind of like an adrenaline rush because, mind you, I'm in a foreign country by myself. No friends, no nothing, just myself. So the first thing I did, cause I had some travel insurance. I landed there when I was in Miami the night before. And I was just thinking to myself while I was in Miami, I was like, bro, you really about to go here by yourself? You really about to go here by yourself? And I was thinking like, yeah. So I love Miami. Um, I booked a ride from the airport to my Airbnb, which was in Boca Grande, uh when I was in Miami. So this was like after COVID and stuff. And so I was already vaccinated. So I had my paperwork with me. And then when I landed, a guy brought me to my residence. And when I was talking to him and he spoke English, I was telling him like, hey, I need to get a cell phone so I could communicate. I need internet, I need a cell phone. So he took me to a spot. He was my mouthpiece. I think I paid maybe like 100 US or something like that. They still probably bust me in the head, but so what? Maybe it was like 85, $65, something like that. But I know I got busted in the head. I know it don't cost that much. But, that gringo tax. So I get it. In the States, it'll be probably more than that. So I got the cell phone, got the data plan, and I was in business. So I was like, okay, boom, I got a cell phone. I got my personal cell phone, and I have a cell phone that I could communicate with, or use translator, have a local phone number to if I wanted to meet women, all kind of stuff. Literally, I didn't Google a to-do list in Colombia, none of that jazz. I'm just like, oh, I'm on vibes. Like, I'm on vibes. So while I'm in Colombia, everything is going great. My first night, great. I woke up the next morning like feeling exhilarated, like, wow, man, I'm really out here. Okay, the second night or second day, I think that's when I meet Gino. And then I was by his office, we were running it, and he was like determined to show me the city. And so I ended up rocking with him. It turned out to be the best decision that I had made. And I just had a blast with Gino. He took me to two boat parties. He introduced me to his family. Went to some clubs with Gino, and Gino spoke English, which was great. And I was just blown away with Colombia. Okay. Then I went to Puerto Rico. I took my son to Puerto Rico. And where else I went by myself? I went to New York a few times. Oh yeah, Cuba. So I went to Cuba by myself. And when I was going to Cuba, of course, that was to meet this Cuban Cubana. Her name is Delanise. And so Delanise is a very special lady in my life currently. And I'm glad that I took the chance to go to Cuba to meet with her because I was on this dating app called well, I had two. One called Caribbean Cupid and one called Latino or Latin Cupid or something like that. And it was the same website, but like a Latino Spanish version and a English version. And I you had to pay like $40 or $50 to get on the site. So I paid the fee to get on the site, and I will not met, but I had seen like, okay, they got some eye candy on there. Oh, Jamaica. Forgot about the Jamaica. So I went to Jamaica by myself too. That's another story. So first it was St. Lucia, then it was Jamaica, then it was Colombia, then it was Puerto Rico, then it was Cuba. Okay, that was the order of me getting outside. Now, mind you, while this is going on, I'm traveling within the United States also. So Texas, New York, um, Nevada. I got out Nevada helped grow me up. And then later on it was California. So, and this is like between 25, so I would say 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So like from 24 to 29, those 30, those 6 years, I was just outside, just learning. And at the same and simultaneously, I was working a lot. You know, I always kept a job and I was getting more skills. I was getting educated in insurance. I was learning about real estate, taking classes. I'd already had a college degree. And then eventually I got my CDL at age 25, 26. I got my CDL. So I was just exploring rapidly, learning a lot. So um I one thing I would give advice to the younger people who may hear this is don't be afraid to go it alone. Like I could say that don't worry about, hey, can I get somebody that I know to come with me? Go by yourself and you will meet the people that you need to meet when you get there. Because it's people that you're going to meet there that's going to be thinking the same way you were thinking. My good friend Rob, I met Rob in Tennessee. Rob is from Louisiana, like I'm from Louisiana. He's from Alexandria. I'm from Avals Parish, and we are about 35 minutes away. I never met Rob in Louisiana. I met him in Tennessee. And so that's just an example of how when you go, you're going to find the people that you need to be with. Um, my good friend Jamel had went to he was in Louisiana. We was chopping it up at this somewhere in this time frame. He moved from Louisiana to Los Angeles. When I was out here in the game, traveling, working, doing my CDL thing, I met him in I flew out. Well, I drove out there for work, and then I ended up hanging out with him in Los Angeles, and that blew my mind. Like, damn, I was just with you 2 months ago. You was living in the South, and then you moved out here to LA. So I always kept in contact with people. I always met new people. I always kept in contact with people. I always saluted people that was doing their thing. I always supported people and looked out for people. And now that I'm going into my 30s, I'm excited to be getting into my 30s because I have all of the knowledge and information that I was learning when I was younger to be able to use to my advantage now. And I think had I had been in a situation where I didn't value learning certain things, I wouldn't have learned or been eager to learn or eager to go places by myself. And oh, another thing, I've met some really fly women along the way. Some of them it worked out to a degree with, some it didn't, but it was never, I don't think, any hard feelings between any of the ladies that I came across. I played the game fair. I was honest. Um, some I liked, and then also like I played the game, and in some ways, the fire burnt me. Like I ended up with my heart broke or feeling disappointed that a situation didn't work out. And looking back on it now, is no situation, even with my marriage that I was in as a youngster. I don't even look at that as a bad thing. I think that that was a catalyst for growth because if you're not right for me, then you need to go be with the person you need to be with, or you need to grow. I don't want to stop a person from being able to grow and do what they need to do. And when I went to Cuba with for Delanice, when I got there, we kicked it. Everything was great. Now I've been there 4 times. I was just sitting there thinking like, damn, I wish I didn't wait so long to come here. Like I wish, and that's the only thing about life, and I learned about traveling and work, is that you might go to a place like Colombia and St. Lucia. I have friends that's in other countries now. I got one friend named Zacchaeus from St. Lucia, and he he always asks me when I'm gonna come down there, and then my friend Gina always asks me when I'm gonna come to back to Colombia. I'm like, man, I gotta get back down there, but it's difficult because then when you're in America, you work, 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 work. So it's heavy. And then at the same time, I realized that wow, I I think that I'm getting better with time, right? I don't think that time is passing me by or anything like that. I think I'm getting better with time. And I used to travel a lot and go places alone. And I used to think like, man, I wish I had other people with me. But then once I learned how to enjoy myself, I learned how to love myself, how to treat myself the way that I want to be treated. Yo, I love having company, right? I'm a mix between um a person who is I got like more than everyone has different sides of them, but you know, I'm a person that loves company, but I'm a person who can enjoy being alone also, right? I love company because I love showing somebody something that I've learned or to see what their interests are, what they could teach me, right? And I have siblings, so I always grew up around others. But then I like being alone because it challenges me to still experiment with life and still learn more, although I'm by myself. And I'm never really alone because I got my ancestors with me. I got people that love me that's rocking with me. And it has just been an amazing ride thus far. And I'm excited for the next 10 years to see what that's like. I definitely as a father, I want to take my son to more places. And he's been, of course, in the South. He's been, on the East Coast. He's been to Florida and uh different places. But I would definitely like to continue his journey and continue educating him. So it's been amazing, and I can't wait for the next chapter. But I was just sitting here thinking, like, you know what? I've had a lot of great times out here in these streets. I met a lot of beautiful women, a lot. I I ain't gonna name drop. I name dropped a couple, but I met a lot of beautiful women. I say it like that, and I'm interested to see what life has to offer me moving forward. So all of my young people, 25, 30, 35, or even if you're older than that, never be afraid to go it alone. The people that you need to meet, they gonna find you, right? Don't think that you have to wait for a best friend or a sibling or somebody that you know to travel with you. Travel alone, and that could inspire other people to 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 meet you along the way. And one last thing I say is when you're traveling, be smart about it. Don't don't get drunk in strange places. If you can, don't ever do drugs in a foreign country. That's one advice I give you that somebody gave to me. And I would say that don't drink. And if you are going to drink, get drunk or drink in the privacy of your own home or Airbnb or apartment. And I would say if you're in public, be sober, be vigilant because you're in a foreign place. That's not saying that you can't have a beer or enjoy yourself if that's what you're into, but be careful. For as drugs, stay away from drugs, period. Whether you're in the States or you're foreign, because in a lot of these countries, what'll happen is if you do buy some drugs from a person, and I'm gonna just keep it a buck. And what they could do is they could come back and say, "Oh, you bought this from me, and now you owe me more." And stay away from that. And far as meeting people, if a person seems entirely too friendly, it's a problem, right? And don't be afraid to meet people in a more genuine way, you know? And also in traveling, learn local phrases. Learn, especially if you're going to the Spanish speaking worlds, learn to say different things, learn some phrases, you know, outside of saying hola or adios, right? A good phrase to learn to say is como decirte, which is like how do you say? If you want to say something and you don't know how to say it in their language, learn to say that phrase. How do I say this? Como decirte, and then they'll tell you. Or you know, learn to say things like, I am from this place. Where are you from? My name is this. Your name, what's your name? Okay. What's your phone number? Uh, Here's my phone number. You know, things of that nature. And if you could learn to operate on those lines, you would be good. So that's been my talk for tonight. Chop up game, explore. Don't get caught up in the mix. Enjoy life. Peace.